So last night I was tucking my oldest son into bed and he's like, mommy, I really want to start a YouTube channel. And I was like, great, go for it. He goes, I just don't know like what it should be about. I'm not quite sure like what I want to do. So I started asking him questions and said, well, what are you kind of thinking? And I know kind of what his interests are. He's got a sports background. And then he also, of course, likes Minecraft and some video games and stuff. And so we kind of were just looking at it. And as we're talking about, he's getting so excited. And I started asking him different questions about who his ideal audience is. And he said, well, mommy, I'd never actually thought about that. And I said, well, the first thing you need to do in order to create any kind of business is to figure out your ideal client. And I started telling him about my real estate business. And I said, for me, I have an ideal client. So today I'm going to be sharing with you just four ways to find your ideal client when you are in the real estate industry. And really this applies for anything, but specifically for real estate agents. I have people talk to me about this all the time and they're like, well, how did you break into how are you in this luxury market and how are you doing this? It's because they are my ideal client. I'm going to share with you 4 ways that you can find your ideal client. And we're going to hop into it right now. Mariah here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your first time here. I'm a licensed and active luxury real estate agent both in California and Utah, and I absolutely love helping real estate agents just like you build and scale their business the modern way by leveraging the power of social media. If that's of interest to you, consider subscribing down below. Make sure you tap that bell for notifications so you're notified every week I drop a new video. I hear from real estate agents like you all the time who are looking to build, who are looking to scale. If that is you, feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, and let's see how we can really take your business to the next level by using social media. I know for me, that is how I have literally built my entire business, from moving from one state to the next in a town, in an area that I absolutely did not know anyone. Yes, if I can do it. I know people have said this like, oh, if I can do it, you can do it. But I honestly am 100% sure on that. So today, let's hop right into finding your ideal client. Like I was saying, I was having this conversation with my son. He's like, mommy, I really want to start a YouTube channel. I just don't kind of know where to begin. And I said, okay. And this is how I did it for my real estate business. I figured out who my ideal client was. So number 1, find your niche, or find your niche, whatever you want to say, niche, find it. Figure out who your ideal avatar is, or your ideal client. So for mine is typically somebody who is, number 1, either relocating here or has already been established and is looking for another home, like a second property, a third property. Somebody typically is about my same age, has children about my same age, and that is really my ideal client. So for me, I have helped a lot of families relocate here I'm in the state of Utah, have relocated here from all over the country. And most of them are about my age. Most of them have kids about my age, and most of them are in similar life situations that I am at. That is just my ideal client. Now, kind of moving on to how do you find your ideal client and how do you attract that ideal client? For me, I have attracted that ideal client from social media, which leads right into number 2. So you've got find your niche, and number 2 is social media. What are you posting on social media? Those ideal clients, when you are talking to your audience on social media, pick a platform, right? Is it Instagram? Is it TikTok? Is it Facebook? Is it LinkedIn? Is it YouTube? Pick your platform and talk to your client. Once you start talking to your client, it's going to be really easy because you know who you're talking to. So for me, I'm basically talking to myself. I mean, literally, like, I'm thinking about all the different things that I would want to know if I was relocating to a certain area. I am posting pictures of homes that I love. I am posting, homes that I have toured with other clients, or homes that I have toured that I've enjoyed, showing. So pick, find your niche, and then start sharing that on social media. So once you start, like I said, once you find your niche, then you are talking to your ideal client on social media. This sometimes people are like, well, I don't exactly know what to say. Well, if you narrow down who you're talking to, it's going to be way easier. If you're talking to everybody, have you heard this before? If you're talking to everybody, you're really not talking to anybody, because you are looking for a specific client that you are targeting. If you are talking to first time home buyers and investors, and that, like, literally, like, if you're talking to everybody, it's going to be hard for you to land with your ideal client, because you're all over the place. So if you're able to narrow it down on social media. So I was actually talking to a real estate agent the other day, and she's like, Mariah, I've been servicing this particular type of client, but I really want to switch and I want to move into, she was saying more of a luxury home route. And I said, well, great. Like, what are you posting? What are you? And she's like, well, I'm really silly. And I post really kind of, weird things. And I said, well, do you think your ideal client is going to be attracted to that? Or are you posting more like luxury, sophistication? Are you touring properties that will yield to that client? And she goes, well, not really. So I said, what you want to do is you really want to rethink what you're saying, what you're putting out there, because that ideal client will find you. So, for example, I sell a lot of luxury homes here in Utah. And I have a lot of people that reach out that are like, hey, Mariah, I saw that you toured this Parade of Homes home there. And what can you tell me about it? Because I've already toured it, because I've talked to the builder about it, because I know a lot about it, I become that resource for those type of clients. So I'm attracting that because of what I'm posting, what I'm saying, and how I, am forming relationships with those type of builders and all of that. Which really leads me right into number 3, is your relationships. What kind of relationships do you have with other people, and who do you have those relationships with? So if you've ever heard this before, like, where you hang out, where you eat, the people that you deal with, that's going to be your sphere of influence. So when you're looking at figuring out your niche, when you're figuring out who your ideal client is, think about the relationships that you have. I know for us personally, when we were living in California, we were living in Southern California, we had such a wonderful community. We had such, really strong friendships. We had lived there for 15 years. So it was just kind of like, in our neighborhood, in our community, in wherever we were, people just knew us because we had been there for so long, and people kind of knew what to expect. When we moved here to Utah, in a new area, in a new town, a new place where we literally did not know anyone, we had to start fresh. So when I was thinking about, hey, you know what do my kids want to be doing? What do I want to be doing? Who do I want to spend my time with? Those relationships, I carefully kind of sculpted, like, okay, kids still want to play soccer. Okay, so a couple of them want to go the club route, a couple of them want to go the recreational route. So I start kind of looking into those, and then you start forming relationships within that community. I had a couple kids that wanted to do tennis. So I'm like, great, well, let's find the local tennis club, and now we'll start getting into that. So figure out the relationships that you are forming, not only within your community, but also within the builders that are in your area, with the new home construction that is in your area, with the different professionals that are in your area, your CPAs, your attorneys, your all of those type of professionals. You want to figure out the relationships, you want to figure out, again, your niche, and then you want to, what you're seeing, what you're doing, you want to be posting that on social media for your ideal client. And last but not least, when you are looking for your ideal client, I kind of always go back to treat others the way you want to be treated. How do you want to show up for your ideal client? What does your ideal client like? Does your ideal client like being called on the phone? Mine doesn't. My ideal client is very busy, driving carpool, doing this, doing this. But my ideal client, honestly, loves a text. My ideal client loves a funny meme. My ideal client loves it when I send them a podcast episode that I just listened to and said, hey, if you've got a second, love this one. This was incredible. My ideal client loves a card in the mail. My ideal client loves, maybe a thoughtful little Amazon, whatever that I sent off, a pair of my favorite socks, whatever it is. My ideal client doesn't have tons of time to be talking on the phone, but my ideal client loves to be loved on and loves to have those touches in their lives. So think about how your ideal client wants to respond to you, how they want to be communicated with, and then do that for them, right? So figure out how, how they want, how they want that. And is it email? Does your ideal client love to have an email every week and have market updates? Do they love having, really just think about what they want and serve that up to them on a platter exactly the way they want it. And I'm telling you, if you do these couple of things, figure out who you're talking to on social media, how you're going to show up, and then really figure out, how they want to be communicated with. If you do these easy things, I am almost certain that you will generate more of your ideal client in your business, and you will begin building and scaling your business on your terms with clients that you are so excited to show up for day in and day out. And again, if you are looking to build and scale your business the modern way by leveraging the power of social media, feel free to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and it would be my absolute pleasure to connect with you. Take care. Wishing you a fabulous day. Bye. That you showed up was